Welcome back to Tesla Global, the home of the latest Tesla news. Today we take a look at why Tesla's road in India may end before it even starts, and also Tesla killers are like Bigfoot. They don't exist and they never will. Let's get into the video. Why Tesla's road in India may end before it even starts. For years, Indian citizens have pleaded with Tesla CEO Elon Musk about the possibility of the electric automaker building and delivering cars in the country. India, a large landmass that 1.366 billion people call home, has less than 1% of its 30 million cars being of an electric nature, the most sustainable way to operate a vehicle. However, Tesla aims to change that with an imminent entrance into India's market. The problem is, Tesla's road in India may end before it even begins, which would be a massive blow to the company and its supporters in the country, as Tesla fans have waited several years for any indication that the car company would finally make an appearance in their section of the world. But strict regulations and inside political interests are halting the possibility, and it has people wondering whether the world's leading electric car company will ever make it to the Indian automotive market. Many of you who read Teslarati on a daily basis know that we have been tracking the situation in India since the early days. In fact, one of my first articles of 2021, while I was recovering from COVID-19 in January, was about the potential that Tesla had in India's markets. Additionally, it seemed that some potential customers would be ready to order their first all-electric cars from the Silicon Valley-based electric car company by the time Q2 rolled around. However, these pieces of outlook from Musk were not met because the Indian government has shut down any attempt Tesla has made toward getting their products in the country without the hefty import duties. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem as if they will be going away soon, either, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has heavily supported the idea of local manufacturing efforts, will not be forced to leave his post or enter another election until 2024. While local manufacturing is something Americans take a lot of pride in, especially with cars, there are undoubtedly advantages to building things domestically. First, companies must hire workers in the country that the business is stationed in. Next, the increase of manufacturing jobs not only improves the American economy, but it also provides job security for the millions of employees that are on assembly lines 40 hours, or more, a week. There are a lot of strengths in manufacturing things locally, but there is also room for foreign entities to bring their products into a market, especially if they can benefit a foreign economy like it does a domestic one. This is something Tesla argued in its proposal letter to the Indian government a few weeks ago when it requested a reduction in import duties. The increase in Tesla imports would actually assist the country in developing a charging infrastructure, which would supply jobs to the energy sector and provide cleaner transportation options in a country where the climate and environment struggle heavily with smog and emissions. Additionally, Tesla would need a dedicated service center in several locations as India is a large country. Not to mention, showrooms would also provide some employment opportunities. Musk has said that Tesla will not bring a Gigafactory to India without some sort of data that would support healthy demand, something that is obviously needed to justify building a near billion-dollar production plant in India. Doing this through imports is a tremendous idea, but 60% import taxes on sub-$40K vehicles, and 100% duties on $40,000 and up vehicles just will not get this done. Plain and simple. There needs to be some movement on the Indian government's end. However, the Indian politicians fail to realize that the economic and environmental advantages to having EVs in the country will be a better move long-term. Instead, they fail to budge or even consider reducing import duties of any kind, at least to this point, which appears to discourage Tesla's requests to enter the market. It would be a shame if no solution can be reached after this problem, because I believe that the environmental impacts alone will be something that not only the Indian people will enjoy, but the people of the world will begin to see eventually. As the air begins to clear and the smog disperses, there could be a relative ease on the strong relationship with gas and oil India has. Sustainable energy could make its way to India within the next few years, and Tesla could see the potential for its biggest Gigafactory yet in India. Think about the economic benefits a large-scale production facility could provide. Not only would it produce well-paying jobs, but it would also create a lot of them. There are so many benefits for both Tesla and India if a deal can be worked out. But can it? In my opinion, Tesla may be better off delaying the India operation for another few years, when a fresh administration and new ideas can be thrown around about Tesla entering the market. It seems, for now, there won't be much of a possibility, and Tesla may be better off expanding its efforts in the UK or elsewhere. With that being said, I would love to hear how you feel about this issue. Is Tesla wasting its time trying to get things going in India? Should it try again in a few years? Do you feel progress can be made? Why or why not? If not India, Then where should Tesla consider a new Gigafactory? Tesla killers are like Bigfoot, they don't exist and they never will. The term Tesla killer should be retired for the rest of time. For years, automakers across the world have released their introductory electric cars into the quickly growing EV sector. With plans written out and cool, sporty photographs and renders of the next big thing in the EV sector being released by some of the world's largest and oldest car companies, many media outlets, including this one, have referred to some cars as Tesla killers because that is what automakers are trying to do, knock Tesla off of its pedestal and try to derail some of the momentum that Elon Musk's company has gained through the past several years. The problem is this: these cars that are always coined as Tesla killers never pan out to what they're supposed to be. They're all hype and relatively no real threat to Tesla or any of its vehicles. In all honesty, Tesla killers are like Bigfoot. You always hear about them, but you never see them, and in the back of your mind, you think that it could be real, but more than likely, it isn't. I will admit, there are cars out there that have legitimate potential to derail some of Tesla's momentum. I think the Lucid Air could be a great competitor to the Model S, and I think Rivian's R1T could be a great option for potential Cybertruck owners. Some great cars are coming to the market, but none of them are worthy of being deemed a Tesla killer. This is a preview from our weekly newsletter. Each week I go beyond the news and handcraft a special edition that includes my thoughts on the biggest stories, why it matters, and how it could impact the future. The fact is, the word killer, when attributed to everything, means it is a complete ending to any chance of success when used in the comparison of two things. A Tesla killer would have to make a competing car model obsolete, killing it off from the market, and this simply doesn't happen in the automotive world, at least in my opinion. Even if cars have slumpy sales records or slow months, someone will still buy that car eventually, no matter how crappy, inadequate, or ineffective that vehicle is. The truth is that all of the cars labeled as Tesla killers have always fallen short. I can remember the Mercedes-Benz EQC donning the label, only to sell barely any units and have the German automaker reconsidering its stance on EVs. The same thing was said about the EQS unveiling. While it is a beautiful car, does anyone really think it's going to make Tesla reconsider its plans for future models or make it redesign any of its current ones? No, it won't. It's not, and it likely won't, or there's a small chance. It won't happen. Period. Tesla is on the top of the EV sector. Like it or not, nobody can really compete with them currently, and vaporware is the only real threat to Tesla's current momentum. For years, these car companies have said they will build these incredible EVs with all of these great features. Towing capabilities, weighting depth, 0 to 60 miles per hour times that are more than impressive, astronomical range ratings. You name it, one of these car companies has said it. But how many times, honestly, has a car company kept its word with an EV that it plans to release? How many times have these car companies with decades or even a century of experience come up short? How many times have EV enthusiasts been promised the next big thing in the EV sector, only to come up short and revise their plans? The truth is, it happens more often than not. Car companies need to start getting honest about their issues when developing EVs. I believe transparency, not hopeless promises, is the key to winning over the incredibly loyal EV enthusiasts that make up the community. It is no secret that Tesla owners and fans are quite dismissive toward competitors. Can you really blame them? Can you see how for years, these other car companies have made all of these promises, only for their entire plan to crumble apart like an extra dry cookie? This isn't to say that Tesla is perfect, and it isn't to say that they won't eventually fall off of their pedestal. Tesla has plenty of issues. They're dealing with supply constraints, timing inaccuracies, production bottlenecks, and delays in permissions, especially in Berlin. The company also has major issues with customer service and communication, something that has been a complaint in more recent memory. However, Tesla rarely misses when it comes to its cars. Yes, some come later than the company says, but there's no denying that many of the specs it releases for its vehicles are accurate. No matter how astronomical or outlandish some specs may seem, Tesla usually makes good on its promises. This is something that other automakers that have been deemed Tesla killers simply haven't done. They may put fancy names, specs, and features on their cars, but they either fall short and aren't as effective as they say the car will be, or the car just gets delayed for several years until the companies have put in the correct infrastructure for adequate production. Tesla killers do not exist. They never have, and they never will. There will never be a car that comes along and makes a Tesla completely obsolete in the EV market. Besides, all of these companies producing Tesla killers wouldn't even plan to manufacture EVs if it wasn't for Tesla. Let's face it, these cars are really saviors to whatever manufacturer they belong to, because if they weren't being planned or produced, these companies would be obsolete in a few years, especially as the EV sector continues to gain momentum and take market share away from petrol-powered machines. Do you think Tesla will set up production in India, or will there be many obstacles in the way? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, then please leave a like, and if you are new, then why not subscribe to help us get to 4,000 subscribers? Thanks for watching.